Umuntu fathi ihambela nje asisa
Kuva kabandi shayela 1212.
Watch local TV on the go with the Eswatini TV app for only 20 emalangeni per month. Do the most with Eswatini TV app. Download from Google Play Store or App Store.
We're good together. Everywhere you go, MTN.
It is just gone 12 midnight to New York. It is 12 noon in Beijing. It is 6 a.m. in Kiev, the capital city of Ukraine. It is 7 a.m. in Moscow, the capital city of Russia. Well, it has just gone 6 a.m. in the capital city of the Kingdom of Eswatini in Mbabane. Good morning and welcome to the Monday edition of Kusile Breakfast Show. We are coming to you live from our Hospital Hill studios in Mbabane. I am Linton Kule. Many thanks for joining us. It is Monday, the 28th of March, 2022. It is day number 87. Utaleleke umnyaka bonke 678. Upheleke umnyaka dosetulo. Ngumsombuluko welishumi nakuthathu. Siseveni-ke lelishumi nakuthathu leminyaka wa 2022. Siyavusela bonke sikuphina kuphi. La nibole khona umsakazo wetithombe Eswatini TV. Themba simpela sondweni ibe ngileyo lenhle nale phephile. Labo bebabeka ihlobo dabo bonke sisilo umzala wethu insuku akaphotisela umanceba laphlungu la ngengedaka. Imphefumulo yabo ngathi ingaphumula ngalokhulu ukuthula. Nalabo ke lebokhanza kusingempela sondvo bangena kubabalende labanye bangena kuMamaland siyethemba kusenini lo mzala wethu insuku uyawenda konke kube kuhle njengoba konke kusebenzelana kube ngilokuhle bonkosi kanti ke semba sinibe nesikhathi lesihle vele ngempela sonto njengoba bekuningi lebekwendeka bekuphithitela ya bonkosi singakagijimi kathe nehlelo lomhla sibuke nje nasimo semkhuhlane iCovid-19 Eswatini lokumbiko lothunyelwa induna yetempilo lezinkosi la sibuhola khona sibahlole emaswati langanani anganani ke futhi lawo latholakele ukuthi anawo umkhuhlane weCovid-19 njengoba indzaweni etiningi emaveni lamaningi ngeva nje lapha eveni laseCanada batawa ukuthi kancane behlise lawo ma restrictions njengoba simo nakhona ama cases ashona phansi kancane naseveni laseChina nakhona kuthiwa ke bona vele ngasibata ungena ke ku lockdown njengoba ema cases ayanza indvuke lesimangaliso kanti ke baqhubeka nakhona bayiteka indzaba yemijovo kanti lapha eKenya nje tevakala indzaba kuthiwa kunetinjinga letimbili lekuthiwa ke imali beyibekwa le sihlengeni kuthiwa ijezi kuthiwa ke leyo mali leyo tigitsigitsi nemadola asemelika tetabuya ke eveni laseKenya thambe tayothenga ke imali ingathi tuyothenga equipment yokuvikela wona lo mkhuhlane weCovid-19 njengoba nakhona soloke bayalwa nawo lo mkhuhlane lapha eveni laseKenya indaba yekugoma ngiyona le indzaba mlonyeni emaveni lamaningi emhlabeni nala eveni laseSwatini nakhona iyatekwa ke indzaba ekuthenini emaswati akakhuthateke lokuthi agomele wona lo mkhuhlane lo ya bengisengiyafuna ke lo mbiko kepha ke naseulungile bengusijathola lembala isinduna bagomeke emaswati la ngathi bahloleke emaswati la 437 kwahlolela ke iCovid-19 ngoba munye nje kuphela lo utholakala usunawo lo mkhuhlane lo. Lesekunda ukuthi kusukela kwaba neCovid sinemaswati lang 69664 la kabanja ngulo mkhuhlane. Ma active cases ange 28. Simeke ku 68243 maswati lasadula manje la kabanja kule Covid. Itolo kululeme labangamashumi lamabili. Sinebantu labane ke kuphela labagcinwe etibhedlela deliver. Balashelwa yona ke iCovid-19 kude ke losilimalele itolo ngalomkhuhlane lo. Lokusibeka ukuthi sime ku 1393 maswati la sagomile. Ingathi la sasilimalele nje kusukela kwaqala yona iCovid. I-vaccination live ime ku 339,000 nemaswati lang 80. Leyo ke ngu 29.2% nakubuka ke ipopulation level eSwatini nebala Tiyasisimba le nombolo tegoma kanti ke imijovo kuthiwa ke sekhona even bayakhuthazwa ke abantu ukuthi abahambe bagome labo labasengakagomi njengoba tevakala ndzaba ekuthenini awunawo khona kuvakashela nje eNingizimu Afrika nangabe awukagomi lo uyawenda ukuthi uhambe uyokhipha leyo mali yekonda ke leyo test ekufuna uyiproduce le not less than 70 ingabi ngedulu kwema hour lang 72 kasi ke lokugoma ke kuyasida umuntu akhona kungena nangabe sokugomela njengoba nasemaveni amaningi nje vele indzaba leseyihanjiswa embili lezibantu abagome nabangagome ke baba nabo lobukhulu ukuthi bavakasha bonke indzaba sithathe siyibuke namhla kusele siyaqala ngayo nje indzaba lenzaba amlonyeni yalo live leUkraine nelive leRussia mengameli welive leMelika Joe Biden uvakashele ke ngalesihlanu beka lapha even lasePoland la ngemgcibelo nayitolo beka lapha ePoland abambethe inkulumo na president walo lela live lasePoland kanti ke ube seso uaddressa ke umhlaba wase uyaveta lo thenini lo president welive leRussia lona Vladimir Putin akamboni ahlala embusweni isikhathi lesithe uthi ke angeke ahlale it is not good for umhlaba thenini Putin abe in power kepha ke iWhite House iyacacisa ukuthi cha akasho president ukuthi sebafuna iregime change lapha even lase Russia neNATO nayo iphumile yachaza ukuthi cha akusho sekudingeka iregime change even lase Russia ke nje ke bafuna ukuthi kube nokukhulumisana lokukhona emkhathini kwayo iRussia nelive leUkraine ukuthi ke nabe iRussia iyawubeka phansi ikhali wasuse amasotsha ayo even leUkraine lama sanctions lebayiklinye ngayo kungenteka bese bayawa lift siyabuka ke netemidlalo njoba indzaba ye World Cup 2022 lapha eKhatanga November ayahlungana ke emaviki kakhulukazi nangase Africa live leGhana Nigeria live leEgypt nabo Senegal ayadlala ke boMali nabo bayadlala futhi nabo Algeria eMorocco neTunisia imidlalo iyaqhubeka ke la ngekusasa na kanjani labasihlanu kuphela ngibe labathathola lithikithi lekusiba umelela eAfrica lapha eKhatar sabuka ke namaster kusiboba nabanemathuba lamahle nakubuka imidlalo yangalesihlanu bekade ichubeka sibathola bakethe bonkosi sibuya nenzaba ecala talo mhlekiseni you're watching the Monday edition of Kusile Breakfast Show. Good morning.
When you choose your adventures, you do so with an open heart and a desire for the unexpected. You embark on journeys to discover new worlds full of wonder. You choose a path to awaken your senses, a world to make you look up and realize just how inspiring this life can be. Arrive and awaken your heart. Explore life in ways only thought possible in your dreams. Discover just how far you'll go to expand your understanding of life's greatest mysteries. There's just one place on this planet with so much to offer. Now is the time for you to have the royal experience in the kingdom.
I do the most. Watch local TV on the go with the Eswatini TV app for only 20 emalangeni. Come on. Do the most with Eswatini TV app. Download from Google Play Store or App Store.
We're good together. Everywhere you go, MTN.
Mbula nguvusela ngwambekele ke ntsabeni ticala talo mhla ekseni ehleleni Kusile breakfast show libito lami ngiLinkedIn Gule. Induna yelitiko letangephandle nekudlelana ke nalamanye amave emhlaba athulisile dladla ithi ke bafunzi bakuleli abakhonile kuphuma eveni leUkraine bakhombiseke buchawe njengoba baphume ngaphansi kwesimo lesibitako. Induna ithi labafunzi batawuba abaholi bakusasa labanesibinzi. Induna ke beyikhuluma emcimbini wesidlo sasemini enkonyeni ngesikhathi ke kwemukelwa labafunzi ngalokusemthethweni.
Bafunzi bakulele bebafunza eveni le-Ukraine bemukelwa nguhulumende welive kanye nahulumende welive le-Taiwan ngesidlo sasemini. Kule sidlo, indvuna yelitiko letangephandle nekudlelana nalamanye emave Thuli Dladla ithi inhlitiyo yemakhosi hulumende kanye nesive semaswati iyatfokomala kutsi labafunzi babuye kuleli baphephile futhi baphilile.
This is history that we'll never forget. As a country, it was not easy. It was very hard to bring you back. And bringing you back alive and intact. Thank you so much for your resilience. And Your Excellency, again, thank you so much for the heart of gold that you have.
Longoselele Taiwan kuleli Jeremy Liang uthi kulesimo lebesibita live le-Taiwan likhonile kuba lihlahlandlela emhlabeni ekusiteni nasekuphampiseni lamanye emave kufaka ekhatsi le
Challenges were overcome, problems solved, commitment, diligence, patience, perseverance, and good old-fashioned hard work delivered a result that we can all share and celebrate.
Temakhulandle Vilane lokhulumele bafunzi ubonge emakhosi hulumende nabo bonke labavete lusido.
Thank you for everything that our leaders have done for us. Make Thuli ke mina ngamhlupha this day when I woke up in the morning getting the news ukuthi they've already bombed. Ngambhalela ngathi make ubi. We need to find a way of getting out. We didn't have a plan. We didn't know where to go. We didn't know what we were doing, but she led me. It got to a point where I wanted to give up. Give up. Just as she's saying, got to a point where we were stuck 3 days. It was very difficult. And I know it's a song sendlulile kulobo mzima lobo, but kuko konke ngomusa wa God.
Indvuna Thuli ithi empini kude longathi usichwaga noma ke longathi uphumelele kunaloko kufa abantu kulimale impahla lelo live libuyela emuva ngendvutfuko. Indvuna icela bafunzi kanye nebatali ukuthi bathandazele kuthula emhlabeni. Etindzabeni kubika Sondomlangeni enkonyeni.
Losabambe kuba indvuna itemcebo phansi nemandla Jabulani Mabuza uthi ke uhulumende unetinhlelo tekonga gesi ngekwakha konke lokutawonga gesi kude live ke linciphise kusebenzisa kwalo gesi. Mabuza bayakhuluma ke edwaleni Farm Lodge ngesikhathi ke kunemsebenzi we-Earth Hour.
Live leSwatini libe mtsibi munye kukhupheni li-hour lekucima emalambu nako konke lokudla gesi lilatiwa nge-Earth Hour leliba khona njalo ngomnyaka mhla tinge-26 enyangeni yeNdlovu lenkulu ngenhloso yekonga gesi. Lo msebenzi bewubanjelwe edwaleni Farm Lodge ngephansi kwesicubulo lesithi Shape Our Future. Kuguquguquka kwesimo selitulu ngeletinye tintfo letenta imvelo ishabalale kanti-ke isatsingakala. Ngeminyaka wanga-2021 live longa 54% megawatts ku-21% megawatts le bewuhlosiwe lebelitawonga kanti-ke kuyinsaya yawonke kutsi asebentise gesi ngekucophelela. Losabambe kuba indvuna yetemcebo waphansi nemandla Jabulani Mabuza uthe kasinake tintfo lesisebenzisako sisive kutsi katimudlini gesi kute titukulwane tiwukhandze gesi angiloyo lowanele.
Cannot be overemphasized that the objectives for Sustainable Development Goals is to alleviate human suffering in many ways while we remain a thriving society in a more sustainable environment in line with the Sustainable Development Goals. The economic recovery from the pandemic will accelerate the transition to cleaner energy technologies in order to advance low-carbon transition for the country.
Umqondisi wenkampani yamagesi Ernest Mkhonda ubonga sivele sisawonga emandla nagesi jikelele. Lesibonako ke bumcoka bekusebenzisa gesi ngekongiwa.
Climate change is one of the biggest global issues facing humanity. As a country, we have experienced the devastating effects of climate change. Unless we start implementing the prevention, mitigation, and adaptation measures for climate change, our future generations are placed at risk by our action today.
Umqondisi wenkampani yemandi Jabulile Mashwama uthe nabo ke bayinkampani batimisele kuwonga emandla lapho basebenta khona bahambe mgomo munye nahulumende ekungamsebenzisini budlapha gesi.
Ensure that we proactively reduce our impact to the environment, thereby ensuring that catastrophes as a result of climate change do not occur or at least are minimized.
Kuthi tengena kugabanca insimbi yesiphohlongo ebusuku lo sabambe kuba induna yemicibo waphansi Jabulani Mabuza uveleke wacima gesi isikhathi lesingaba li-hour linye kanti-ke sive sakhanyisa emathoshi besinikwe wona kulowo mcimbi. Gesi-ke lokongiwe kulelo hour itolo ebusuku kube ngu-26.1 megawatts lokungetudlwana kancane nje kwa-20 megawatts libe kuhlosiwe. Edizabeni ngingiyani Msibingi sedwaleni Farm Lodge.
Imkhankaso nembukiso yekukhangisa ngemkhiqido yabosemabhizinisi isikhiya-ke sekuthuthukisa abosomabhizinisi labancane nalabasemkhatsini nendlela yekukhanga timakethe tangaphandle. Kanti lokhu kuvete ngoloncisela live lendiya kuleli mbukisweni yabosomabhizinisi ivusa umnotho expo.
Kuthuthukisa bosomabhizinisi balapha evene kude bachubeke bafake isandla emnothweni welive, inkampani yahulumende lekhanga abahlanyeli timali Eswatini Investment Promotion Authority EIPA ngekusebenzisana netinhlangano lesambulelo sabosomabhizinisi bemtsabi Firstbank kanye nelehotela le-Times Water World ibambe umbukiso wemalanga lamane wabosomabhizinisi ivusa umnotho expo evikini leliphelile. Lo mbukiso ungenwe nalohhovisi lencusele live lendiya kuleli lapho khona lencuselele lohhovisi kuleli Rwanda Vankadarman avetile ukuthi ngalo mbukiso bakhonile kufunza kabanti ngamasiko alapha evene. Uthi imbukiso lenjengalena ivula iphindze ithuthukise tekuthengiselana kumave emhlaba.
This event has again given an opportunity to everybody to come out with the different companies and different organizations represented in this event, has also highlighted the importance of looking after the small and medium enterprises, promoting the farmers, promoting indigenous food, local produce. As I usually say that Eswatini is very fertile. You can grow a whole lot of things here and you should promote them and depend on them. And it has given me an opportunity also to promote the things which we do in India in the same sector. So such events are very, very important for us to learn more from each other and also the country itself.
Kulombukiso bekugcilwe kakhulu etinhlangothini letintsafu lekutekulima temandla kanye nalelo lekwakha lengekusho kwa-EIPA abafise kutfutfukisa tekuthengiselana kwato ngekhatsi evene baphindze batfutfukise lizinga lebahlanyeli timali kuletinhlangothi leti kulombukiso. Etindzabeni te-Eswatini TV kubika Samkeliswe Khoza nginaFortune Dlangamandla eSitfokotvo.
Sitolo-ke sase-KFC enhlangano sibanjwe inkunzi bantu labangatiwa labakhala bemuka nemali ngemgcibelo ebusuku. Leti gebengu betihlome ngetibhamu.
Bekungathi sive selapha inhlangano sibukela bhayisikobho ngetithuba tensimbi esikhombisa uma igabanca itolo kusihlwa kulandzela ukuthi kungene tigebengu lebetawubamba inkunzi esitolo se-KFC. Kuthiwa laba bekunene bangene bahlome ngetibhamu kanti-ke bangene ngekhatsi esitolo lebesigcwele wona-ke emakhasimende. Kuthiwa laba bekunene bavele baqonza ithilini ngenhloso yokuthola yona-ke imali ngekusabela timpilo tawo-ke emakhasimende avele aphuma-ke bashiya naloko-ke lebe bade ukuthenga. Kuthiwa-ke laba bekunene-ke bakhonile ukuthi bavele bayitholeke leyo mali bakhala badla phansi naleyo mali. Kanti-ke inkampani yabogatsi le kungiyona isebenta kuleli dolobha lekuthiwa iKenya unit kuthiwa ivele yeta ngokuphadima kweliso nje kungapheli nemizuzu lesihlanu kubathola laba bekunene kuthiwa ke bavele babafunisa kwenyalisi bavele babathola. Gatsi walenkampani Osama Dlamini uyasilanzisa ngalokwendekile.
Thumele amaphoyisa kaKNL amabili ngithi angabheki kule direction yalo lomunye ngoba umunye usethwe imoto umunye wahamba nyawo. Ngithumele 2 abogadi bafike bagijimisele lo ubhekele thina silanzele lo wemoto. La sifika ngale Book Store sikhanzeke imoto seyipakile 2 abantu ngaphandle futhi bebalinga kwehla. Nabasehla sehle nathi sithatha inyathelo babheke entasi babaleke bashiye le moto sigijimise munye ke lo munye simiyekele. Afike lo mnyangelo hontshini limnyama emenene asesengena emenene sifike simcinge sesibonile ukuthi ungene la sesithinzana namaphoyisa ukuthi abuye atosilekelela ngoba sesisothwana swathinze amaphoyisa nawo akakhombisa kusabela bese sesiyangena ke ngekhathi sesiyambamba simthola ngekhathi abhacela khathi esigangeni.
Kusebenzisana lokuhleke kwamaphoyisa embubene sive nayo ke lenkampani yeKenya unit ngeke lokwenda kusilaba bekunene basheshe batholakala njengoba kubika ukuthi bavele batholakala babili babo naleyo mali ke kuthiwa engathi ivele yatholakala. Lokhulumela lesitolo Musa Khumalo naye ke uvumile ukuthi kube khona ke bucala lobuba khona kulena ndzawo itolo kusihlwa kanzi ke wasinanabo basenda luphenyo labo bangiyo lenkampani. Imali libebiwe ingetulu kwetinkulungwane ezintathu 3000 emalangeni kanzi ke letholakele ibe makhulu ayimfica 900 emalangeni. Lokuxhumanisa emaphoyisa nesive Superintendent Pindile Vilakati ubonge kakhulu sive sasenhlangano esiwabambisayo kwemaphoyisa njalo nakunebucala etindzabeni kubika Giyani Msibingi naphumulani Masuku sisenhlangano.
Sikhulu sasezulwini Sifiso Khumalo sisike tinkonzo letibanjwa kulomphakathi sithi nemselelo omuhle njengoba bucala sebunciphile. Khumalo bayakhuluma ke enkonzweni lehlelwe ngulomphakathi ngenhloso yekuthandazela live kanye nempumelelo yesive sasezulwini.
Inkonzo yemthandazo emphakathini ezulwini ikhombisa kukhula njalo ngeminyaka ngelinani lebantu lababayingcenye yawo. Ngekusho kwesikhulu sesezulwini Sifiso Khumalo kule nkonzo bantu labaswele baphiwa kudla.
Sesendele ne-culture yokuthi nakungathi inkonzo nangabe khona la singasitha khona ngoba phela vele kusemgomeni kuba uNkulunkulu kubambisa sive nekubambisa labo lebengasazi ngathi baswele. Siyabe sikhona nokupha ke abantu abadzala bogogo nalabeswele nje bakhona la ezulwini ngaleti khasi ngibambisana nabo bazalwane ngibambisana nabo bafundisi balamasongo la khona la ezulwini siyakwenda lokho khona bayimpumelelo.
Bafundisi labashumayele bakhulumise tihloko letahlukene letfaka ekhatsi kwethembeka kuNkulunkulu.
Ingonyama yamazulu emhlabathi ivulile yiva ngathi ezulwini kuvuleke ukuthi egedhu lona ngombosi avule ngasayivali ngoba kulento lithelayo lephulukako leqhamuke khona nebasimakathi. God acted in the life of Hannah simply because she stayed in the place of prayer.
Lenkonzo ingenelwe bafundisi nebazalwane bemabandla langephasi kwawo lomphakathi. Etindzabeni kubika sondomlangeni nginasamkelisiwe Khoza ezulwini.
Masipala wasesipiki ke sewusukumise inhlelo letinaka tindzaba tebamflabasha lapho khona kuphindwe kwa Carnival Community letabuka ke tindzaba tebamflabasha lisebenzisana naye lo masipala.
Lo mcimbi uqale ngemshoqolo uqale emaphoyiseni wayewuphelela eParki yasesipiki lapho khona kuqhubeke tinkulumo nokusukunyiswa kwelibandla lelitawubuka tinhlelo lethetha ukukhulumisa tindzaba tebantfu labasha basesipiki. Meya welidolobha lasesipiki Victor Rodriguez uthi lokusukumisa lelibandla lebantfu labasha kutawusita masipala akhone kusebenzisana nebantfu labasha kute nabo bangasaleli ngaphandle kusathuthukiswa lelidolobha.
Ingqikithi yalomsebenzi wanamuhla ku-promoter i-youth le masipala utibone wathi khanza ukuthi kuhlimbanzakanya nabantu labasha basenzaweni. So le youth yakhe libandla layo sesibuka indlela ke noma ke nabo babuka indlela nathi ngalana ngikhathatheka besibuka indlela ukuthi singahamba njani size sifike lapho khona sibambisane sisebenzisane ne-youth. Ngiwo ke lo mbuthano wanamuhla ukuthi awu phela abantu labasha nabo kufanele babusise lo msebenzi wabo ngoba siyawubona ukuthi muhle lo msebenzi wabo nawo basawuqhubha. Esikhathini lesiningi into lebesithi nasi siyasebenza ukuthi usebenza nemuntu lomusha ukhanze ukuthi lo muntu lomusha usemuva kakhulu naleti indlela zokusebenza kwabo masipala. So nabo ke sibona ukuthi asesicale ukuthi sicathude sicale sihambe nabo singabashiyi ngaphandle ikakhulu nakwakhiwe leti nhlelo tabo masipala ngoba tifike natsahamba tsasetshento leti nhlelo ukhanze ukuthi tiyabahisha labantu labasha.
Sanelisiwe kunene longosihlalo waleli komiti uthi bayathokota ukuthi babe ingcenye ukuthi babe nenzima labangayidlali ekuthuthukiseni leli dolobha njengoba umuntu lomusha angumlibalo embili.
Ngithi likusasa laleli dolobha leli impumelelo yalo ilatandleni tethu. Thina nangabe sitawulala sibamlabasha litawulala naleli dolobha. Kungako namhla sithi sukuma mvlomusha udlale nawe inzima yakakho edolobheni. Siyayicela shem le commitment nalokubanjiswana kakhulu. The future of this town rests with us. Thine namuhla asendeni info. Let us just leave a mark. Let out future generations abe proud of. Futhi ba benefit kuyo. Bangathi bamfana nasebakhulile bathi hawu kwake kwaba ne youth but asibone siya beyendani. Asendeni info let out noma sesingekho noma sesigugile. Bamphana labasilandzelako bakhona ukubenefita kulowo.
Lo mcimbi beungenelwe inhlangano yaka Commonwealth lebe yimelelwe ngumxolile Thwala libekatawuniketa lwati kabanti ngale nhlangano nekusebenta kwayo kubantu labasha basesipiki. Etindzabeni Eswatini TV ngibonga Simaga kule Sipiki.
Inhlangano Kusile Great Grace Foundation senikeleleke umndeni wakaThobela kaMkhweli ngaphasi kwenkundla yasembolonjeni ngekudla netimpahla kanye ngezicathula temfunzi lewesele. Azike lo mndeni wavela kulomsakazo evikini leliphelile ucela ke kwakhelwa indlu nelusito lokudla.
Evikini leliphelile lo msakazo wadlala indzaba yemndeni wakaThobela wakaMkhweli ngaphansi kwenkundla yasembolonjeni lebo ucela lusito lokwakhelwa indlu nalokuya ethonjini. Dihla sivakashile indlebe kulomndeni lokungimake nebantfana labatsatfu ngesikhathi umdali aphendula imithandazo yabo eva kukhala kwabo kulandzela kutsi inhlangano Kusile Great Grace Foundation inikelele lomndeni ngekudla neticathulo talona lofundzako lebekakhale ngekubhudlikela ticathulo takhe tesikolwa. Nokuthula zikalala wale nhlangano uthi batsinzeka nababona simo salomndeni kumabona kutse.
Sikubonile thina sibakaThushiya lokumqoka kakhulu luphahla lwendlu balala ebaleni malangeni nawubuka lezi condition ukuthi sekukhona nje abantu abangaphila kulesimo lesi kula ku2022 malangeni kumatima kakhulu. Bebe sicela malangeni sicela ukuthi manje sibalekelele ngosiyami sibakhele lendlu sibakhele kanye netoilet.
Flora Makakula longumake kulomndeni ubonga wagangatsa kule nhlangano.
Ngibonga naku bakaThushiya leso bangisiphe kona. Nganakudla lokungakama bengathi ukuthi bengidakuthatha.
Sicelo sekwakhelwa indlu solo sikhona njengoba iyanetha leyo leyodwa labahlala kuyo nekuhlala ke bavika tinyoka emakapeni. Babeke bamele kubhaliswa titifiketi tekutalwa njengoba kutena munye lonesitifiketi sekutalwa kulomndeni. Lo msebenzi lomuhleke ube impumelelo ngemitamo yamlungisifaka kutse naye losangumfundzi lobe nenhlitiyo yokucelela lomndeni lusito. Etindzabeni kubeka khiyana Msibi kanti tithombe titholakele enhlanganweni Kusile Great Grace Foundation.
Livela Eswatini liphokopheleke kufika kubobabe nemajaha langemashumi lasiphohlongo ekhulwini kulabasokile kungakapheli iminyaka lotako. Lokho kufete ngilochumanisa ke sive nohlangothi lolubukela indzaba tekusoka etiko letempilo sabelo mlambo. Ngesikhathi ke yaniketa isithombe ukuthi umkhankaso inyanga letintsatfu ekusoka lo wasukunyiswa itiko letempilo enyangeni lephelile uhamba kanjani.
Enyangeni lephelile litiko letempilo lisukumisa umkhankaso ekukhutsata kusoka lotawuchujwa tinyanga letintsatfu ngaphansi kwesicubulo lesithi lithuba lakho lokuthi usoke phecelezi it's your turn, get circumcised now. Lo mkhankaso ngekusho kwemchumanisi welihlangosi libukela indzaba tekusoka itiko letempilo i-Voluntary Medical Male Circumcision VMMC sabelo mlambo usahamba kahle njengoba bake basoka bobabe nemajaha langamashumi ngelilanga. Mlambo uthi ngalo mkhankaso bahlose kukhulisa lizinga lekusoka lapha eveni lifike kulokungamashumi lasiphohlongo ekhulwini kungakapheli umnyaka lotako.
Siyilonja i-campaign sayibuka in 2 phases. The first phase kwakungukuthi sisebenze nalo sisebenze ne-social media kakhulu. So ku social media ke sibonile bantu nasiposta bayitshengisa inshisekelo yokufuna ukuthatha lekusoka nekufuna kuva kabanti ngato tindzaba tekusoka. Sinale lomboloko lo 2030 labo bakhanza ukuthi bangena khona bafike bafune ukubhalisa khona ukuthi bafuna kusoka sibese sesiyabachumanisa netibhedlela bethu. Lengakusho nje kusuka sesalontsha kuze kuphele mhlambe lo February sabathola abantu around 18 through le nombolo ya 2030. Lekusho ukuthi leto nombolo nje betita kubantu lebasitshengisa inshisekelo ngokuthi bashaya no-2030. But kukhona ke leyo khanze sibavele baconze khona lesibhedlela ngokwabo bahambe bosoka noma ke labanye ukhanze ukuthi sebabutana nathi nje nabadibana nathi ukuthi ngabe lethi nizabade kusoka vele ngingasokela kuphi njengoba wathi nje ukuthi netimoto tethu tibrandiwe lokubranda kwenta ukuthi na ufika upaka ukhanze ukuthi umuntu usoyeta kuwe sofika uyabuda ukuthi kuhamba kanjani. So ke sibe sesiyaqala ke sesingenela ema-communities kule mpelasonto lephelile nje besikhona embolonjeni lapho khona besifundzisa ngathi lethi nizabade kusoka siphinze sinahamba kanjani wethu le mobile caravan yethu la sisokela khona la khona sakhona ukuthi kube khona abantu labafika ku-20 labasoka ngalelo langa.
Ngekusho kwembiko elitiko letempilo lizinga lekusoka lapha eveni lime kuloko nge-35 ekhulwini kanti ngekusho kwelicwaningo lenhlangano lebuketa indzaba tetifo emhlabeni i-Center for Disease Control CDC kusoka kunciphisa emathuba ekutfola mdlavuzo emlomo wesibelefo kubomake ngaloko nge-60 ekhulwini 60%. Etindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Samukeliswe Khoza kunasonto Mlangeni eMbabane.
Kutemidlalo libukeke kuthuthukisa umdlalo wekhilikithi kuleli zenzele emazibuko uthi-ke babukeke ukuthi eminyakeni lotako kube nemacembu latodliwa inkemba ayeke esigabeni lesingaphansi kude kwenyuke lizinga lalo mdlalo esigabeni lesetulu. Masibuya bakhuluma-ke nakuchubeka imidlalo yekhilikithi lesekelwe i-High Commission of India enjabulweni.
Cricket lesekelwe i-High Commission of India solo iyachubeka kuleli kanzi kulempelasonto bekudlala imidlalo yekugcina esigabeni sema-group stages. Ngekusho kwazenzele emazibuko longumcondzisi wemidlalo wecricket kuleli noma likhulile lizinga kule midlalo kodwa-ke sebabuka ukuthi nakusuka umnyaka lotako wale midlalo kube nemacembu latawudliwa inkemba ayesigabeni saka-B.
Imidlalo yethu lena le T20 lesicethayo ema-group stages akhona nyana i-level vele iphakeme manje nje kulokuthi ayiphakame one side asasekhona vele lamacembu labasemuva kakhulu. Ngiko sitawuthi nasicetha nje le league lena sibe nako ukuthi kutaba nemateam latodlala ku-B division lamanye adlale ku-A division lokuthi sehlukanise lama-division siwahlukanisa ngama-performance alama-teams kuze akhona la ka-B division ama-team akhone ku-compete amongst each other kungabi demoralizing because nakwendeka khanze ukuthi ngitholele team strong kanini you know one of the strongest team in the group lapho khanze ukuthi nale scoreline vele sesenta le ma-teams ayaba demoralized. Otherwise the standard siphakeme kona nangibuka nalokuthi-ke with the addition of new players we have a lot of players labasha kulama teams kube lama teams nawo abenako ukungedeka inezibathe ezilamanye ahambile.
Ngekusho kwamazibuko uthi emacembu la ngaphasi kwale nhlangano lamaningi aphathanyiswa ukuthi ede kahle tinvo tekudlala kodwa-ke ubunga kakhulu kuyi-High Commission of India ekusekela le midlalo. Kanzi isigaba se-knockout kusibheke ukuthi sicale ngale mpelasonto letako. Lobikela umsakato Eswatini TV kutemidlalo ngilinda Dlamini eMbabane.
Ngalelo temidlalo bonke osisi bamba lapha ke ngizabathe icala talo mhla ekseni sibathele imakethe sibuya siyachubeka nalo hlelo.
Pay your TV license quickly and easily with MTN Momo. Simply dial *007 *3 hash and select option 8 for TV license. Enter your national ID number as your reference and the amount you wish to pay. Then enter your PIN to confirm your payment. Once your payment has been made, you'll receive a confirmation SMS of your payment. If you're a first-time payer, you get another SMS for your TV license. So legalize your entertainment from the comfort of your home. Pay your TV license the easy and convenient way with MTN Momo.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
ngosithela emalangeni ngosithela emalangeni chocolate noma mfo ngishitsho nangithatha lava ngicala kabusha nangilava bongozo
ngisafaka na 20 rand
kuphi mnethumane ngathi
lo gifted kiko ukusebenzisa uthi akhona uphila ubeke isingwa etafuleni
mina sengimelele umngane wami bese sihamba sophanda
shemu ngichashe maye mahle ebonile
ngafuna ukuthi le project ingawa ngikhona nami ngoba angisiyo umuntu othanda ukuthi info ingafa ngikhona isime life nesiyakiyo umuntu ngangemuntu kuyafuna at least abe nawo 3 ma skills in life.
Mina ngibonga kakhulu ngoba so ngatsala kusebenza lo msebenzi abadinga ngangisupport labantu.
Bose siyaqhubeka nalo uhlelo namhla ekseni usanza vulela umsakazo wakho ubukela umsakazo uThombe Eswatini TV sehlelweni kusile breakfast show njengoba nasigena ngehlelo sichazela izaba la senini selo iyaqhubeka impi yeRussia neUkraine ngeneke ku day 33 langeni la lomuhla kanti ke President Biden uvakasheleke live lePoland lelingaphansi kwayo inhlangano yaka NATO kuyakhulumisana na President walela live bayawubuka nje inzabathi iqinisa tekuphepha ngoba banekusela lokukhulu ukuthi kungendeka nakacetha President Putin ngelive leUkraine ayihlasele yona live lePoland ngilapho ke lafike wakhipha khona emagama ekuthenini President Putin ede aba semandleni isikhathi lesithe bole asesimlalele President Joe Biden.
Be not afraid. These were the first words at the first public address of the first Polish Pope after his election in October 1978. They were the words that would come to define Pope John Paul II. Words that would change the world. John Paul brought the message here to Warsaw in his first trip back home as Pope in June of 1979. It was a message about the power of faith, the power of resilience, the power of the people. In the face of a cruel and brutal system of government, it was a message that helped end the Soviet repression in the Central Land and Eastern Europe 30 years ago. It was a message that will overcome the cruelty and brutality of this unjust war. When Pope John Paul brought that message in 1979, the Soviet Union ruled with an iron fist behind an iron curtain. Then a year later, the Solidarity movement took hold in Poland. While I know he couldn't be here tonight, we're all grateful in America and around the world for Lech Walesa. Reminds me of that phrase of philosopher Kierkegaard. Faith sees best in the dark. And they were dark moments. 10 years later, the Soviet Union collapsed, and Poland and Central and Eastern Europe would soon be free. Nothing about that battle for freedom was simple or easy. It was a long, painful slog, fought over not days and months, but years and decades. But we emerged anew in the great battle for freedom, a battle between democracy and autocracy, between liberty and repression, between a rules-based order and one governed by brute force. In this battle, we need to be clear-eyed. This battle will not be won in days or months either. We need to steel ourselves for the long fight ahead. Mr. President, Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Mayor, members of the Parliament, distinguished guests, and the people of Poland, and I suspect some people of Ukraine that are here. We are gathered here at the Royal Castle in this city that holds a sacred place in the history of not only of Europe, but humankind's unending search for freedom. For generations, Warsaw has stood where liberty has been challenged and liberty has prevailed. In fact, it was here in Warsaw when a young refugee who fled her home country from Czechoslovakia, was under Soviet domination, came back to speak and stand in solidarity with dissidents. Her name was Madeleine Koble Albright. She became one of the most ardent supporters of democracy in the world. She was a friend with whom I served, America's first woman Secretary of State. She passed away 3 days ago. She fought her whole life for essential democratic principles. And now, in the perennial struggle for democracy and freedom, Ukraine and its people are on the front lines, fighting to save their nation. And their brave resistance is part of a larger fight for an essential democratic principles that unite all free people. The rule of law, fair and free elections, the freedom to speak, to write and to assemble, the freedom to worship as one chooses, freedom of the press. These principles are essential in a free society. But they have always been under siege. They've always been embattled. Every generation has had to defeat democracy's moral foes. That's the way of the world. For the world is imperfect, as we know, where the appetites and ambitions of a few forever seek to dominate the lives and liberty of many. My message to the people of Ukraine is a message I delivered today to Ukraine's foreign minister and defense minister, who I believe are here tonight. We stand with you, period. Today's fighting Kyiv and Melitopol and Kharkiv of the latest battle in a long struggle. Hungary, 1956. Poland, 1956, and then again, 1981. Czechoslovakia, 1968. Soviet tanks crushed democratic uprisings. But the resistance continued until finally, in 1989, the Berlin Wall and all the walls of Soviet domination, they fell. They fell. And the people prevailed. But the battle for democracy could not conclude and did not conclude with the end of the Cold War. Over the last 30 years, the forces of autocracy have revived all across the globe. Its hallmarks are familiar ones: contempt for the rule of law, contempt for democratic freedom, contempt for the truth itself. Today, Russia has strangled democracy, has sought to do so elsewhere, not only in its homeland. Under false claims of ethnic solidarity, it has invalidated neighboring nations. Putin has the gall to say he's denazifying Ukraine. It's a lie. It's just cynical. He knows that. And it's also obscene. President Zelensky was democratically elected. He's Jewish. His father's family was wiped out in the Nazi Holocaust. And Putin has the audacity, like all our autocrats before him, to believe that might will make right. My own country, a former president named Abraham Lincoln, voiced the opposing spirit to save our union in the midst of a civil war. He said, "Let us have faith that right makes might. Right makes might." Today, let us have that faith again. Let us resolve to put the strength of democracies into action to thwart the designs of autocracy. Let us remember that the test of this moment is the test of all time. The Kremlin wants to portray NATO enlargement as an imperial project aimed at destabilizing Russia. Nothing is further from the truth. NATO is a defensive alliance It has never sought the demise of Russia. In the lead up to the current crisis, the United States and NATO worked for months to engage Russia to avert war. I met with them in person, talked to them many times on the phone. Time and again, we offered real diplomacy and concrete proposals to strengthen European security, enhance transparency, build confidence on all sides. But Putin and Russia met each of the proposals with disinterest in any negotiation, with lies and ultimatums. Russia was bent on violence from the start. I know not all of you believed me and us when we kept saying, they are going to cross the border, they are going to attack. Repeatedly, he asserted we had no interest in war, guaranteed he would not move. Repeatedly, saying he would not invade Ukraine. Repeatedly, saying Russian troops along the border were there for training, all 180,000 of them. There is simply no justification or provocation for Russia's choice of war. It's an example of one of the oldest human impulses, using brute force and disinformation to satisfy a craving for absolute power and control. It's nothing less than a direct challenge to the rule-based international order established since the end of World War II. And it threatens to return to decades of war that ravaged Europe before the international rule-based order was put in place. We cannot go back to that. We cannot. The gravity of the threat is why the response of the West has been so swift and so powerful and so unified, unprecedented and overwhelming. Swift and punishing cost are the only things that are going to get Russia to change its course. Within days of his invasion, the West has moved jointly with sanctions to damage Russia's economy. Russia's central bank is now blocked from global financial system, denying Kremlin's access to the war fund that's stashed around the globe. We've aimed at the heart of Russia's economy by stopping the imports of Russian energy to the United States. To date, the United States has sanctioned 140 Russian oligarchs and their family members, seizing their ill-begotten gains, their yachts, their luxury apartments, their mansions. We've sanctioned more than 400 Russian government officials, including key architects of this war. These officials and oligarchs have reaped enormous benefit from the corruption connected to the Kremlin. And now they have to share in the pain. The private sector is acting as well. Over 400 private multinational companies have pulled out of doing business in Russia, left Russia completely, from oil companies to McDonald's. As a result of these unprecedented sanctions, the ruble almost is immediately reduced to rubble. The Russian economy, that's true, by the way, takes about 200 rubles to equal $1. The economy is on track to be cut in half in the coming years. It was ranked, Russia's economy was ranked the 11th biggest economy in the world before this invasion. It will soon not even rank among the top 20 in the world. Taken together, these economic sanctions are a new kind of economic statecraft with the power to inflict damage that rivals military might. These international sanctions are sapping Russian strength, its ability to replenish its military, and its ability to project power. And it is Putin, it is Vladimir Putin who is to blame, period. At the same time, alongside these economic sanctions, the Western world has come together to provide for the people of Ukraine with incredible levels of military, economic, humanitarian assistance. In the years before the invasion, we, America, had sent over $650 million before they crossed the border in weapons to Ukraine, including anti-air and anti-armor equipment. Since the invasion, America has committed another $1.35 billion in weapons and ammunition. And thanks to the courage and bravery of the Ukrainian people, the equipment we've sent and our colleagues have sent have been used to devastating effect to defend Ukrainian land and airspace. Our allies and partners have stepped up as well. But as I've made clear, American forces are in Europe, not in Europe, to engage in conflict with Russian forces. American forces are here to defend NATO allies. Yesterday I met with the troops that are serving alongside our Polish allies to bolster NATO's frontline defenses. The reason we want to make clear is their movement on Ukraine don't even think about moving on one single inch of NATO territory. We have sacred obligation. We have a sacred obligation under Article 5 to defend each and every inch of NATO territory with the full force of our collective power. And earlier today, I visited your national stadium where thousands of Ukrainian refugees are now trying to answer the toughest questions a human can ask. My God, what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to my family? I saw tears in many of the mothers' eyes as I embraced them. They're young children. They're young children, not sure whether to smile or cry. One little girl said, "Mr. President," she spoke a little English, "if my brother and my daddy, are they going to be okay? Will I see them again?" Without their husbands, their fathers. In many cases, their brothers and sisters who stayed back to fight for their country. I didn't have to speak the language or understand the language to feel the emotion in their eyes, where they gripped my hand. Little kids hung onto my leg, praying with a desperate hope that all of this is temporary. Apprehension that they may be perhaps forever away from their homes. Almost a debilitating sadness that this is happening all over again. But I was also struck by the generosity of the people of Warsaw, for that matter, all the Polish people, for the depths of their compassion, their willingness to reach out, opening their hearts. Say to the mayor and the premier, they're opening their hearts and their homes simply to help. I also want to thank my friend, the great American chef, Jose Andres, and his team for help feeding those who are yearning to be free. But helping these refugees is not something Poland or any other nation should carry alone. All the world democracies have a responsibility to help, all of them. And the people of Ukraine can count on the United States to meet its responsibility. I've announced 2 days ago we will welcome 100,000 Ukrainian refugees. We already have 8,000 a week coming to the United States of other nationalities. We'll provide nearly $300 million in humanitarian assistance, providing tens of thousands of tons of food, water, medicine, and other basic supplies. In Brussels, I announced the United States is prepared to provide more than $1 billion in additional humanitarian aid. The World Food Program told us that despite significant obstacles, at least some relief is getting to major cities in Ukraine, but not not Mariupol, because Russian forces are blocking relief supplies. But we'll not cease our efforts to get humanitarian relief wherever it is needed in Ukraine and for the people who've made it out of Ukraine. Notwithstanding the brutality of Vladimir Putin, let there be no doubt that this war has already been a strategic failure for Russia, already. Having lost children myself, I know that's no solace to the people who've lost family. But he, Putin, thought Ukrainians would roll over and not fight. Not much of a student of history. Instead, Russian forces have met their match with brave and stiff Ukrainian resistance. Rather than breaking Ukrainian resolve, Russia's brutal tactics have strengthened the resolve. Rather than driving NATO apart, the West is now stronger and more united than it has ever been. Russia wanted less of a NATO presence, on his border, but now he has a stronger presence, a larger presence, with over 100,000 American troops here, along with all the other members of NATO. In fact, Russia has managed to cause something I'm sure he never intended. The democracies of the world are revitalized with purpose and unity found in months that we'd once taken years to accomplish. It's not only Russia's actions in Ukraine that are reminding us of democracy's blessing. It's our own country, his own country, the Kremlin. It's jailing protesters. 200,000 people have allegedly already left. There's a brain drain leaving Russia, shutting down independent news. State media is all propaganda, blocking the image of civilian targets, mass graves, starvation tactics of the Russian forces in Ukraine. Is it any wonder, as I said, that 200,000 Russians have all left their country in 1 month? A remarkable brain drain in such a short period of time. Which brings me to my message to the Russian people. I've worked with Russian leaders for decades. I sat across the negotiating table going all the way back to Soviet Premier Alexei Kosygin to talk arms control at the height of the Cold War. I've always spoken directly and honestly to you, the Russian people. Let me say this if you're able to listen. You, the Russian people, are not our enemy. I refuse to believe that you welcome the killing of innocent children and grandparents, or that you accept hospitals, schools, maternity wards, and for God's sake, being pummeled with Russian missiles and bombs, or cities being surrounded so that civilians cannot flee, supplies cut off, and attempting to starve Ukrainians into submission. Millions of families are being driven from their homes, including half of all Ukraine's children. These are not the actions of a great nation. Of all people, you, the Russian people, as well as all people across Europe, still have the memory of being in a similar situation in the late 30s and 40s. Situation in World War II, still fresh in the minds of many grandparents in the region. Whatever your generation experienced, whether it experienced the siege of Leningrad or heard about it from your parents and grandparents, train stations overflowing with terrified families fleeing their homes, nights sheltering in basements and cellars, mornings sitting through the rubble in your homes. These are not memories of the past, not anymore, because it's exactly what the Russian army is doing in Ukraine right now. March 26, 2022, just days before you were a 21st century nation with hopes and dreams that people all over the world have for themselves and their family. Now, Vladimir Putin's aggression have cut you, the Russian people, off from the rest of the world. And it's taking Russia back to the 19th century. This is not who you are. This is not the future you deserve for your families and your children. I'm telling you the truth. This war is not worthy of you, the Russian people. Putin can and must end this war. The American people will stand with you and the brave citizens of Ukraine who want peace. My message to the rest of Europe, this new battle for freedom has already made a few things crystal clear. First, Europe must end its dependence on Russian fossil fuels, and we, the United States, will help. That's why just yesterday in Brussels, I announced a plan with the President of the European Commission to get Europe through the immediate energy crisis. Over the long term, as a matter of economic security and national security for the survivability of the planet, we all need to move as quickly as possible to clean, renewable energy. And we'll work together to help get that done so that the days of any nation being subject to the whims of a tyrant for its energy needs are over. They must end. They must end. And second, we have to fight the corruption coming from the Kremlin to give the Russian people a fair chance. And finally, most urgently, we maintain absolute unity. We must among the world's democracies. It's not enough to speak with rhetorical flourish of ennobling words of democracy, of freedom, equality, and liberty. All of us, including here in Poland, must do the hard work of democracy each and every day. My country as well. That's why I came to Europe again this week with a clear and determined message for NATO, for the G7, for the European Union, for all freedom-loving nations. We must commit now to be in this fight for the long haul. We must remain unified today and tomorrow and the day after, and for the years and decades to come. It will not be easy. There will be cost, but it's a price we have to pay, because the darkness that drives autocracy is ultimately no match for the flame of liberty that lights the souls of free people everywhere. Time and again, history shows that it's from the darkest moments that the greatest progress follows. And history shows this is the task of our time, the task of this generation. Let's remember the hammer blow that brought down the Berlin Wall, the might that lifted the Iron Curtain, were not the words of a single leader. It was the people of Europe who for decades fought to free themselves. Their sheer bravery opened the border between Austria and Hungary for the pan-European picnic. They joined hands for the Baltic Way. They stood for solidarity here in Poland.
That was President Joe Biden akhuluma-ke Poland lapho avakashele khona ekhulumisana na-President walela live mayelana nalesimo lesikhona emkhathini kwe-Ukraine nelive. Bathole ukuthi makethe bonke sinasibuya sibele indzaba tesibili talomhlekiseni.
Pay your TV license quickly and easily with MTN Momo.
Tifungota namhla esomveni betingakacondzani nathi. Hawu mngani, usho ngani? Bekukhulunywa bafana kuphela, buka nje bekukhulunywa ngekusoka. Ushekile impela mnganami. Angayiva kahle lenzaba.
Phela ngekusoka bobhuti, nanathi bayazivikela kumdlavuza womlomo wesibeletho. Futhi ukusoka kuyingcenye indlela yokuvikela iHIV even. Kanti ke naye ebhuti masekasokile, uyativikela kumdlavuza wemvubu.
Uyabona mngani ngishiyeke mbamba. Uyabona babuya kutofundisa betempilo, ngitolalela.
Lo mlayeto ulethelwa litiko letempilo. Kuva kabandi, shayela 2030.
Your taxes are changing lives. Without your taxes, Noktula would need over 9,000 emalangeni to plant 2 hectares of land with maize. But thanks to your taxes, Noktula and thousands of farmers across the country can now access subsidized farm inputs at less than half the commercial rate. This cropping season, she planted all her fields for only 3,500 emalangeni. Thank you for your tax compliance. Your taxes at work.
Ngola nguvusela ngwambulenza beni desibili talo mhlekiseni ehlelweni kusile breakfast show libito lami ngiLinkedIn kule. Induna itange phandle nekudlelana lamanye amave emhlaba atholisile dladla itsike bafunzi bakuleli labakhonile kuphuma eveni le-Ukraine bakhomiseke ebuchawe njengoba baphume ngaphansi kwesimo lesibitako. Induna ithi labafunzi batawuba-ke baholi bakusasa labanesibinzi. Kanti-ke induna beyikhuluma emcimbini wesidlo sasemini enkonyeni ngesikhathi-ke kwemukelwa labafunzi.
Bafunzi bakulele babafunza eveni le-Ukraine bemukelwa nguhulumende welive kanye nahulumende welive le-Taiwan ngesidlo sasemini. Kule sidlo, indvuna yelitiko letangephandle nekudlelana nalamanye emave Thulidladla ithi inhlitiyo yemakhosi hulumende kanye nesive semasweti iyatfokomala ukuthi labafunzi babuye kuleli baphephile futhi baphilile.
This is history that we'll never forget. As a country, it was not easy. It was very hard to bring you back. And bringing you back alive and intact. Thank you so much for your resilience. And Your Excellency, again, thank you so much for the heart of gold that you have.
Lonxuselele Taiwan kuleli Jeremy Liang uthi kulesimo lebesibita live le Taiwan likhonile kuba lihlahlandlela emhlabeni ekusiteni nasekuphampiseni lamanye emave kufaka ikhathi le
Challenges were overcome, problems solved, commitment, diligence, patience, perseverance, and good old-fashioned hard work delivered a result that we can all share and celebrate.
Temakhulandle Vilane lokhulumele bafundzi ubonge emakhosi hulumende nabo bonke labavete lusito.
Thank you for everything that our leaders have done for us. Make thuli ke mina ngamhlupha Thursday when I woke up in the morning getting the news ukuthi they've already bombed. Ngambhalela ngathi make ubi. We need to find a way of getting out. We didn't have a plan. We didn't know where to go. We didn't know what we were doing, but she led me. It got to a point where I wanted to give up. Matsimage angeke tema give up. Just as she's saying, got to a point where we were stuck 3 days. It was very difficult. And I know githi sonke sendlulile kulobo mzima lobo. But kuko konke ngomusa wa God.
Indvuna Thuli ithi empini kude longathi usichwaga noma ke longathi uphumelele kunaloko kufa bantfu kulimale impahla lelo live libuyela emuva ngendvutfuko. Indvuna icela bafundzi kanye nebatali ukuthi bathandazele kuthula emhlabeni. Etindzabeni kubika Sondomlangeni Enkonyeni.
Lesibambe kuba indvuna itemceba phansi namandla sijabulane mabuza uthi ke hulumende unetinhlelo tekonga gesi ngekwakha konke lokutawonga ke gesi kude live linciphise indlela lisebenzisa ngayo gesi. Kaze bakhuluma ke edwaleni farm lodge ngesikhathi kunemsebenzi we-8 hour.
Live laseSwatini libe mtsibi munye kukhupheni li-hour lekucima emalambu nako konke lokudla gesi lilatiwa nge-8 hour leliba khona njalo ngeminyaka mhla tinge-26 enyangeni yeNdlovu lenkulu ngenhloso yekonga gesi. Lo msebenzi bewubanjelwe edwaleni farm lodge ngephansi kwesiqubulo lesithi Shape Our Future. Kuguquguquka kwesimo selitulu ngiletinye tintfo letenta imvelo ishabalale kanti-ke isatsingakala. Ngeminyaka wanga-2021 live longa 54% megawatts ku-21% megawatts lebewuhlosiwe lebelitawonga kanti-ke kuyinsaya yawonke kuthi asebenzise gesi ngakucophelela. Lo sabambe kuba indvuna yetemcebo waphansi namandla Jabulani Mabuza uthe kasinake tintfo lesisebenzisako sisive kutsi kati mudlini gesi kude titukulwane tiwukhandze gesi angiloyo lowanele.
Cannot be overemphasized that the objectives for Sustainable Development Goals is to alleviate human suffering in many ways while we remain a thriving society in a more sustainable environment in line with the Sustainable Development Goals. The economic recovery from the pandemic will accelerate the transition to cleaner energy technologies in order to advance low carbon transition for the country.
Umqondisi wenkampani yemagesi Ernest Mkhonda ubonga sivele sisawonga emandla na gesi jikelele. Lesibonako ke bumcoka bekusebenzisa gesi ngekongiwa.
Climate change is one of the biggest global issues facing humanity. As a country, we have experienced the devastating effects of climate change. Unless we start implementing the prevention, mitigation, and adaptation measures for climate change, our future generations are placed at risk by our action today.
Umqondisi wenkampani yemanti Jabulile Mashwama uthe nabo ke bayinkampani batimisele kuwonga emandla lapho basebenta khona bahambe emgomo munye nahulumende ekungamsebenzisini budlapha gesi.
Ensure that we proactively reduce our impact to the environment, thereby ensuring that catastrophes as a result of climate change do not occur or at least are minimized.
Kuthi tengena kugabanca insimbi yesiphohlongo ebusuku lo sabambe kuba induna yemicibo waphansi Jabulani Mabuza uveleke wacima gesi isikhathi lesingaba li-hour linye kanti-ke sive sakhanyisa emathoshi besinikwe wona kulowo mcimbi. Gesi-ke lokongiwe kulelo hour itolo ebusuku kube ngu-26.1 megawatts lokungedudlwana kancane nje kwa-20 megawatts libe uhlosiwe. Edizabeni ngingiyani Msibingi sedwaleni Farm Lodge.
Imikhankaso nembukiso yekukhangisa ngemkhicito yabo somabhizinisi isikhiya-ke sekuthuthukisa bona abosomabhizinisi labancane labasemkhatsini nendlela yokukhangata imakethe. Lokhu kuvakele ngaloncuselelo ivele ndiya kuleli Radha Venkataraman embukisweni yabosomabhizinisi ivusa umnotho expo.
Kuthuthukisa abosomabhizinisi balapha evene kude bachubeke bafake isandla emnothweni welive, inkampani yahulumende lekhanga abahlanyeli imali ye-Eswatini Investment Promotion Authority EIPA ngekusebenzisana netinhlangano lesambulelo sabosomabhizinisi bemtsabi Firstbank kanye nelihhotela le-Times Water World ibambe umbukiso wemalanga lamane wabosomabhizinisi ivusa umnotho expo evikini deliphelile. Lo mbukiso ungenwe nalohhovisi lelincuselelo ivele endiya kuleli lapho khona lelincuselelo lohhovisi kuleli Radha Venkataraman avetile ukuthi ngalo mbukiso bakhonile kufunza kabanti ngamasiko alapha evene. Uthi imbukiso lenjengalena ivula iphindze ithuthukise tekuthengiselana kumave emhlaba.
This event has again given an opportunity to everybody to come out with the different companies and different organizations represented in this event, has also highlighted the importance of looking after the small and medium enterprises, promoting the farmers, promoting indigenous food, local produce. As I usually say that Eswatini is very fertile. You can grow a whole lot of things here, and you should promote them and depend on them. And it has given me an opportunity also to promote the things which we do in India in the same sector. So such events are very, very important for us to learn more from each other and also the country itself.
Kulombukiso bekugcilwe kakhulu etinhlangothini letintsafu lekutekulima temandla kanye nalelo lekwakha lengekusho kwa-EIPA abafise kutfutfukisa tekuthengiselana kwato ngekhatsi evene baphindze batfutfukise lizinga lebahlanyeli timali kuletinhlangothi leti kulombukiso. Etindzabeni te-Eswatini TV kubika Samkeliswe Khoza nginaFortune Dlangamandla esitfokotfo.
Isitolo sase-KFC enhlangano sibanjwe-ke inkunzi bantu labangatiwa labakhala bemuka nemali ngemgcibelo ebusuku kanti-ke leti gebengu behlome ngetibhamu.
Bekungathi sivese lapha enhlangano sibukela bhayisikobho ngetithuba tensimbi esikhombisa uma igabanca itolo kusihlwa kulandzela ukuthi kungene tigebengu lebetawubamba inkunzi esitolo se-KFC. Kuthiwa laba bekunene bangene bahlome ngetibhamu kanti-ke bangene ngekhatsi esitolo lebesigcwele wona-ke emakhasimende. Kuthiwa laba bekunene bavele baqonza ithilini ngenhloso yokuthola yona-ke imali ngekusabela timpilo tawo-ke emakhasimende avele aphuma-ke bashiya naloko-ke lebe bade ukuthenga. Kuthiwa-ke laba bekunene-ke bakhonile ukuthi bavele bayitholeke leyo mali bakhala badla phansi naleyo mali. Kanti-ke inkampani yaboGuts le kungiyona isebenta kuleli dolobha lekuthiwa i-Kenya Unit kuthiwa ivele yeta ngokuphatima kweliso nje kungapheli nemizuzu lesihlanu kubathola laba bekunene kuthiwa-ke bavele babafunisa kwenyalisi bavele babathola. Guts wale nkampani Osama Dlamini uyasilandzisa ngalokwendekile.
Thumele amaphoyisa ka-K9 lamabili ngithi angabheki kule direction yalo lomunye ngoba munye uthathwe imoto munye wahamba nyawo. Ngithumele kuthiwa boGuts bafike bagijimisele lo ubhekele thina-ke silandzele lo wemoto. Lasifika ngale e-Book Store sikhanzeke imoto seyipakile kuthiwe abantu ngaphandle futhi bebalinga kwehla nabesehla sehle nathi sithatha inyathelo babheke entasi babaleke bashiye le moto sigijimise munye-ke lo munye simyekele afike lo munye ngene hontshini limnyama emenene sesengene emenene sifike simcinge sesibonile ukuthi ungene la sesithinzana namaphoyisa ukuthi abuye atosilekelela ngoba sesisothwana. Swathinze amaphoyisa nawo akakhombisa kusabela ede bese sesiyangena-ke ngekhathi sesiyambamba simthola ngekhathi abhacela khathi esigangeni.
Kusebenzisana lokuhleke kwamaphoyisa embubeni esive nayo-ke le nkampani ye-Kenya Unit ngiko lokwenda ukuthi laba bekunene basheshe batholakale njengoba kubika ukuthi bavele batholakala babili babo naleyo mali-ke kuthiwa engathi ivele yatholakala. Lokhulumela lesitolo Musa Khumalo nanana-ke uvumile ukuthi kube khona-ke bucala lobuba khona kulena ndzawo itolo kusihlwa kanti-ke wathi nanabo basenda luphenyo labo bangiyo le nkampani. imali libeyebiwe ingetulu kwetinkulungwane letintsatfu 3,000 emalangeni kanti-ke letfolakele ibe makhulu layimfica 900 emalangeni. Lokuxhumanisa emaphoyisa nesive Superintendent Mpintile Vilakazi ubonge kakhulu sive sasenhlangano esibabambisako emaphoyisa njalo nakunebucala etindzabeni kubika Giyani Msibingi naphumulani Masuku sisenhlangano.
Sikhulu sasezulwini sifiso khumalo sisikete inkonzo letibanjwa kulomphakathi ithi imselela lomuhle njengoba bucala sebunciphile. Khumalo beyakhuluma ke enkonzweni ehlelwe ngulomphakathi ngenhloso ekuthandazela live kanye nempumelelo yesive sasezulwini.
Inkonzo yemthandazo emphakathini ezulwini ikhombisa kukhula njalo ngeminyaka ngelinani lebantfu lababa ingcenye yawo. Ngekusho kwesikhulu sesezulwini Sifiso Khumalo kule nkonzo bantfu labaswele baphiwa kudla.
Sesendeke ne-culture yokuthi nakungathi inkonzo nangabe khona la singasitha khona ngoba phela vele kusemgomeni kuba uNkulunkulu kubambisa sive nokubambisa labo bengasazi ngathi baswele. Siyabe sikhona nokupha-ke abantu abadala bogogo nalabeswele nje bakhona la ezulwini ngaleti khasi ngikubambisana nabo bazalwane ngibambisana nabo bafundisi balamasongo lakhona lazulwini siyakwenda lokho kukhona bayimpumelelo.
Bafundisi labashumayele bakhulumise tihloko letahlukene letfaka ekhatsi kwethembeka kuNkulunkulu.
Ingonyama yamazulu emhlabathi ivulile ngiva ngathi ezulwini kuvuleke ukuthi egedhu lona ngombosi akavule ngasayivali ngoba kunento letithelako lephulukako leqhamuke kukhona nebasimakathi. God acted in the life of Hannah simply because she stayed in the place of prayer.
Le nkonzo ingenelwe bafundisi nebazalwane bemabandla langephasi kwawo lomphakathi. Etindzabeni kubika Sondomlangeni nginasamkelisiwe Khoza ezulwini.
Masipala wasespeak sosukumise tinhlelo letinaka tindzabate bamlabasha lapho khona kuphinze kwakhetfwa nelikomiti lensha letawusebenta tindzabate bamlabasha libambisene naye masipala. Umphathi waleli dolobha Victor Rodriguez utsike leli bandla litawukwenta umsebenzi wamasipala ube melula ekusebenteni tindzabate bamlabasha espeak.
Lo mcimbi uqale ngemshocolo uqale emaphoyiseni wayawuphelela eParki yasespeak lapho khona kuchubeke inkulumo nokusukunyiswa kwelibandla lelitawubuka tinhlelo letitawukhulumisa tindzabate bantfu labasha basespeak. Meya welidolobha lasespeak Victor Rodriguez utsi lokusukumisa lelibandla lebantfu labasha kutawusita masipala akhone kusebenzisana nebantfu labasha kute nabo bangasaleli ngaphandle kusathuthukiswa lelidolobha.
Ingcikitsi yalomsebenzi wanamuhla ku promoter youth le masipala utibone wathi khanza ukuthi kuhle kutimbandzakanya nebantu labasha basenzaweni. So le youth yakhe libandla layo sesibuka indlela ke noma ke nabo babuka indlela nathi ngalana ngikhathatheka besibuka indlela ukuthi singahamba njani size sifike lapho khona sibambisane sisebenzisane neyouth. Ngiwo ke lo mbuthano wanamuhla ukuthi awu phela abantu labasha nabo kufanele babusise lo msebenzi wabo ngoba siyawubona ukuthi muhle lo msebenzi wabo nawo basawuqhuba. Esikhatsini lesiningi intolo besithi nasi siyasebenza ukuthi usebenza nemuntu lomusha ukhanze ukuthi lo muntu lomusha usemuva kakhulu naleti ndlela zokusebenza kwabo masipala. So nabo ke sibona ukuthi asesicale ukuthi sicathute sicale sihambe nabo singabashiyi ngaphandle ikakhulu nakwakho leti ndlela zabo masipala ngoba tifike natsahamba tsasetshento leti ndlela ukhanze ukuthi tiyabahisha labantu labasha.
Sanelisiwe kunene longosihlalo waleli komiti uthi bayathokoza ukuthi babe ingcenye ukuthi babe nenzima labangayidlala ekuthuthukiseni leli dolobha njengoba umuntu lomusha angumlibalwa embili.
Ngithi likusasa laleli dolobha leli impumelelo yalo ilatandleni tethu. Thina nangabe sitawulala sibamlabasha litawulala nalidolobha. Kungako namhla sithi sukuma mvlomusha udlale nawe inzima yakho edolobheni. Siyayicela shem le commitment nalokubanjiswana kakhulu. The future of this town rests with us. Thine namuhla asendeni info. Let us just leave a mark. Let out the future generations abe proud of. Futhi ba benefit kuyo. Bangathi bamfana nasebakhulile bathi hawu kwake kwaba ne youth but asibone siyayendani. Asendeni info let out noma sesingekho noma sesigugile. Bamphana labasilandzelako bakhona ukubenefita kulowo.
Lo mcimbi beungenelwe inhlangano yaka Commonwealth lebe yimelelwe ngumxolile Thwala libekatawuniketa lwati kabanti ngale nhlangano nekusebenta kwayo kubantu labasha basespeak. Etindzabeni Eswatini TV, ngibonga uSimagagule Spiki.
Inhlangano iThushiya Great Grace Foundation sayinikeleleke umndeni wakaThobela kaMkhweli ngaphansi kwenkundla yasembolonjeni ngekudla netimpahla kanye necatfulo. Kanti-ke lo mndeni ukwavela kulo msakazo evikini eliphelile sicela-ke kwakhelwa indlu nelusito lwekudla.
Evikini leliphelile lo msakazo wadlala indzaba yemndeni wakaThobela wakaMkhweli ngaphansi kwenkundla yasembolonjeni lebo ucela lusito lokwakhelwa indlu nalokuya ethonjini. Tihla sitivakashele indlebe kulomndeni lokungimake nebantfwana labatsatfu ngesikhatsi umdali aphendvula imithandazo yabo eva kukhala kwabo kulandzela kutsi inhlangano iThushiya Great Grace Foundation inikelele lomndeni ngekudla neticatfulo talona lofundzako lebekakhale ngekubhudlukela ticatfulo takhe tesikolwa. Nokuthula zikalala walenhlangano uthi batsinzeka nababona simo salomndeni kumabona kutse.
Sikubonile thina sibakaThushiya lokumqoka kakhulu luphahla lwendlu balala ebaleni malangeni nawubuka lezi condition ukuthi sekukhona nje abantu abangaphila kulesimo lesi kula ku-2022 malangeni kumatima kakhulu. Bebe sicela malangeni sicela ukuthi manje sibalekelele ngosiyami sibakhele lendlu sibakhele kanye netoilet.
Flora Makakula longumake kulomndeni ubonga wagangatsa kule nhlangano.
Ngibonga naku bakaThushiya leso bangisiphe kona nganakudla lokungakanani bengingathi ukuthi bengidakuthatha.
Sicelo sekwakhelwa indlu solo sikhona njengoba iyanetha leyo leyodwa labahlala kuyo nekuhlala ke bavika tinyoka emakapeni. Babeke bamele kubhaliswa titifiketi tekutalwa njengoba kutena munye lonesitifiketi sekutalwa kulomndeni. Lo msebenzi lomuhleke ube impumelelo ngemitamo yamlungisifaka kutse naye losengumfundzi lobe nenhlitiyo yokucelela lomndeni lusito. Etindzabeni kubeka khiyana Msibi kanti tithombe titholakele enhlanganweni iThushiya Great Grace Foundation.
Live laseSwatini ke liphokophelele ekufikeni kubobabe nemajala angama-80 ekhulwini kula basokile kungakapheli umnyaka lotako. Lokho kuvakele ngalokuxhumanisa sive neluhlangothi libukeke indzaba tekusoka etiko letempilo sabelo mlambo. Ngesikhathi kuyaniketa isithombe ukuthi umkhankaso wetinyanga letintsatfu ekusoka lewasukunyiswa ngolitiko enyangeni lephelile uhamba njani.
Enyangeni lephelile litiko letempilo lisukumisa umkhankaso wekukhutsata kusoka lotawuchutjwa tinyanga letintsatfu ngaphansi kwesicubulo lesithi lithuba lakho lokuthi usoke phecelezi it's your turn, get circumcised now. Lo mkhankaso ngekusho kwemchumanisi welihlangothi libukeka indzaba tekusoka etiko letempilo i-Voluntary Medical Male Circumcision VMMC sabelo mlambo usahamba kahle njengoba bake basoka bobabe nemajaha langama-20 ngelilanga. Mlambo uthi ngalo mkhankaso bahlose kukhulisa lizinga lekusoka lapha eveni lifike kulokungama-80 ekhulwini kungakapheli umnyaka lotako.
Siyilontsha i-campaign sayibuka in 2 phases. The first phase kwakungukuthi sisebenze ne-social media kakhulu. So ku-social media ke sibonile bantu nasiposta bayitshengisa inshisekelo yokufuna kuthatha lokusoka nekufuna kuva kabanti ngato tindzaba tekusoka. Sinaleli lomboleko lo-2030 labo bakhanza ukuthi bangena khona bafike bafune ukubhalisa khona ukuthi bafuna kusoka sibese sesiyabachumanisa netibhedlela tethu. Lengakusho nje kusuka sesalontsha kuze kuphele mhlambe lo February sabathola abantu around 18 through le nombolo ya 2030. Lekusho ukuthi leto tinombolo nje betita kubantu lebasitshengisa inshisekelo ukuthi bashaye no-2030. But kukhona ke lo khanze sibavele baconze khona lesibhedlela ngokwabo bahambe bosoka noma ke labanye ukhanze ukuthi sebabutana nathi nje nabadibana nathi ukuthi ngabe letindzaba tekusoka vele ngingasokela kuphi njengoba wathi nje ukuthi netimoto tethu tibrandiwe lokubranda kwenta ukuthi na ufika upaka ukhanze ukuthi umuntu usoyeta kwesofika uyabuda ukuthi kuhamba kanjani. So ke sibese sesiyaqala ke sesingenela ema-communities kule mpelasonto lephelile nje besikhona embolonjeni lapho khona besifundzisa ngato letindzaba tekusoka siphinze sinahamba kanjani wethu le-mobile caravan wethu la sisokela khona la khona sakhona ukuthi kube khona abantu labafika ku-20 labasoka ngalelo langa.
Ngekusho kwembiko welitiko letempilo lizinga lekusoka lapha eveni lime kulokungama-35 ekhulwini kanti ngekusho kwelicwaningo lenhlangano lebuketa indzaba tetifo emhlabeni i-Center for Disease Control CDC kusoka kunciphisa emathuba ekutfola mdlavuzo emlomo wesibelefo kubomake ngalokungama-60 ekhulwini 60%. Etindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Samukeliswe Khoza kunasonto Mlangeni eMbabane.
Temidlalo umcondzisi wemidlalo wekhilikithi kuleli zenzele emazibuko ukuthi-ke babuke ukuthi eminyakeni lotako kube nemacembu latodliwa ngenkemba ayesigabeni lesingaphansi kude kwenyuke elizinga lomdlalo esigabeni lesetulu. Maze bakhuluma-ke naqhubeka imidlalo lesekelwe-ke lehhovisi lelinxusela live lendiya kuleli enjabulweni.
Imidlalo yecricket lesekelwe i-High Commission of India solo iyachubeka kuleli kanzi kulembela sonto bekudlala imidlalo yekugcina esigabeni sema-group stages. Ngekusho kwazenzele emazibuko longumcondzisi wemidlalo wecricket kuleli noma likhulile lizinga kule midlalo kodwa-ke sebabuka ukuthi nakusuka umnyaka lotako wale midlalo kube nemacembu latawudliwa inkemba ayesigabeni saka-B.
Imidlalo yethu lena le T20 lesicethayo ema-group stages akhona nyana i-level vele iphakeme. Manje nje kulokuthi ayiphakame one side asasekhona vele lamacembu labasemuva kakhulu. Ngiko sitawuthi nasicetha nje le league lena sibe nako ukuthi kutakwa nemateam latodlala ku-B division namanye adlale ku-A division. Lokuthi sehlukanisa lama divisions swahlukanisa ngama performance alama teams kuze akhona la ka-B division ama team akhona ukukhompetha amongst each other kungabi demoralizing because nakwendeka ukhanza ukuthi ngitholele team le strong kanini you know one of the strongest team in the group lapho ukhanza ukuthi ngale scoreline vele sesenta le ma teams ayaba demoralized. Otherwise standard siphakeme bona nangibuka nalokuthi ke with the addition of new players we have a lot of players labasha kulama teams kubela ma teams nawo abenako ukungedeka inezibathe ezilamanye ahambile.
Ngekusho kwamazibuko uthi emacembu la ngaphasi kwalenhlangano lamaningi aphathanyiswa ukuthi kahle tinvo tekudlala kodwa-ke ubonga kakhulu kuyi-High Commission of India ekusekela le midlalo. Kanzi isigaba se-knockout kusibheke ukuthi sicale ngalimbela sonto letako. Lobikela umsakato Eswatini TV temidlalo ngilinda Dlamini eMbabane.
Bongo singalete temidlalo asitibambe lapha-ke tesibili lamhla ekuseni sisabathola etimakethe nasibuya sitawubuka-ke yona temidlalo lebetiqhubeka kule mpelasonto njengoba FIFA week imidlalo-ke icale ngalwesihlanu iyachubeka-ke naselangeni lakusasa kudlala-ke imidlalo yebungani labanye-ke bafuna kuthola lithikithi lokuyangena lapha eKhatanga November ensebeni yemhlaba.
Pay your TV license quickly and easily with MTN Momo. Simply dial *007 *3 hash and select option 8 for TV license. Enter your national ID number as your reference and the amount you wish to pay. Then enter your PIN to confirm your payment. Once your payment has been made, you'll receive a confirmation SMS of your payment. If you're a first-time payer, you get another SMS for your TV license. So legalize your entertainment from the comfort of your home. Pay your TV license the easy and convenient way with MTN Momo.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Sanbonan Masatla Mahle, Libito Lame, Ngumtanazo Mkonazi, and you are tuned into a brand new show on Eswatini TV called Street Quiz. Street Quiz is a show that is aimed at finding out just how well you know your beautiful country and just how well you travel. Now, the beautiful part about it, and that is my favorite part as well, is you get to win a special prize. Now, that could just be money or a little something extra. As for me and my team, we Danibona every week from here, just as long as you tune in and now wanna start Dingdong Balege.
Your favorite music show is back. We're bringing you the hottest music videos and live studio interviews with your favorite celebrities. We're giving you a front row seat to the latest fashion trends as well as your weekend gig guide. Join us live on social media and call in to send in your shout-outs. Catch This Weekend Eswatini every Friday at 5:30 p.m. live on Eswatini TV.
Travel, play and inspire. The all-new season of Buhle Bethu is back on your screens with your girl, Nombumelelo Dlamini. Of course, we have a new face in our team, the ever so cheerful Neliswa.
That's right, Bhumi. This new face is ready for fun and adventure in the beautiful kingdom of Eswatini. I'm so excited to be part of this show in this season. We are the squad that is ready to travel and explore safely in this new normal, the COVID-19 era.
That's right. Don't forget to post your pictures on your social media pages and tag us. Who knows, we might just join you on your next trip.
Join us and be part of the Buhle Bethu squad as we travel, play and inspire every Saturday exclusive to Eswatini TV.
You can watch the latest episodes of the show on YouTube or download the Eswatini TV app to keep up to date.
chocolate. No, so much chicken and cut love and calabusha and love bogos.
Safakuna 20 rand.
Go, temnet man ati.
Lokhu ifuthethe ukusebenzisa utakhonza uphila ubeke isinkwa etafuleni.
Hayi ngisengimelele umngane wami bese sihamba sophanda.
Shemo ngichasha maye mahle ebonini.
Ngafuna ukuthi le project ingawa ngikhona nami ngoba angisiwumuntu lothanza ukuthi into ingafa ngikhona. Kule life lesiyakiyo umuntu ngangemuntu kuyafuna at least abe nawo 3 ma skills in life.
Mina ngibonga kakhulu ngoba so ngatsala kusebenza lo msebenzi abadinga ngisupport labantu.
Sihlelweni lethi lithini libandla siyambonga uNkulunkulu uhlelo liphindze libuyele emoyeni.
Basically ngingathi nje empeleni yabona uNkulunkulu nakadala umhlaba including bantu.
Leti khathi leti tethenjisiwe ngofundisa incwadi ya John chapter 16 verse number 33.
The way the gospel has been portrayed nayilethwa la kubantu yabo yende ukuthi abantu babe offended.
Sikholwa futhi ukuthi sidaphinde siba nabo evikini lelitako sikhulumisa yona lendzaba lesikhuluma ngayo emsakadweni wakho Eswatini TV sibuko semaswati.
Kama lakho likhulu Jesuke
This life, true justice requires sacrifices. End of story, end of corruption.
One of them asked me that what kind of job are they going to do overseas?
When a man dies and leaves behind family and properties,
Uliqiniso ukuthi umnakethu uMandla akasekho emhlabeni.
Ngifuna ajayive lesiginci sakhe lomba. Ende izavo yakhe siyathokoza.
Ngabani? Ndobuta mina kuthi ngabani ekhalami. Awathi kuthi ngami. Who's going to take us home?
Sisi ngithe namhla sekwene.
Ewesho se awungikholwa ashayela uMelginenza umbude. Utakutshela ukuthi le nkampani yasala kimi nene.
Iweli.
Ulandze mina, Thando. Ningeyati indlela yemaphoyiseni. Akudingeki ukuthi ungilandze.
So, now that my father is no more, who will be the owner?
catch this live on Eswatini TV every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. This live, no more to corruption.
In a world of commerce and ever-evolving industries, we venture into the minds of those that run these big companies. On this show, we take you into the human stories of the giants with a vision, their big ideas, and where all this inspiration. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing to you Mr. Pedro.
My story began 1974 in Princess Marina Hospital in Gaborone, where I was born.
Okay, I am Malebo Busang, born Malili in Seroe. I am the youngest of 7 siblings. I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I call myself a creative. I'm also a foodie. I love playing around with food and telling stories through play.
Africa is circled around wine. You know, Africa, we don't even know enough about ourselves. So through these wines, we can know about injere, dombolo, mokodu, jollof rice, and egusi, and eforiro. So we can bring our food out. We can learn more about ourselves. We can share our cultural differences and similarities because we can. I think we haven't profoundly done wine and art or wine and African history.
Hello everyone. Thank you for tuning in on Eswatini TV on another fantastic and insightful episode of Dream It, Achieve It, brought to you by myself, your new host, Nomalungelo Tilu Jele. Dream It, Achieve It is a program that encourages entrepreneurship skills for creative, unique business ideas that foster a proactive and independent youth. Be sure not to miss our Season 3 under the theme Youth Empowerment every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Eswatini TV.
It's 25 minutes before 8 siyaqhubeka nalo bonke sihlelo lomhla kuseni nasanza kulela umsakazo yakho buku lomsakazo etithombe Eswatini TV sehlelweni kusile breakfast show lomhla ngemsomluko kanti ke langenda kusasa iyaqhubeka imidlalo kuhlunga ema teams atawungena ke inzebe emhlaba nginga November lapha event eseQatar kanti ke lamanye amaqembu eEurope avele ke alithole ithikithi sabe incenye lemidlalo le lamanye bayodlala uma playoff matches Tifakers nje amaqembu lafana nabo Wales kanti ke la Africa lasifuna kuqala khona na master knowledge lindokudla yeah ngilidokudla mos
hayi lead
yeah umaster nginaqala ngemidlalo we Egypt Senegal Egypt bikusatinyawo eSenegal banenyawo linye manje eQatar angananda amathuba ukuthi probably gate ingajika nasebadlala second leg kusasa.
Kule umdlalo lolukhulu kakhulu lo nawubuka ukuthi lama teams lafike kumancam eAfcon badashukana ku 90 minutes dashukana extra time dagcina tigcitane kuma penalties leyagcina ingcobe khona eSenegal lengicaba ukuthi nayo lo mdlalo lo incobile first leg yawo ma World Cup qualifiers yona igibhithe kodwa awukapheli because iSenegal seyati strength sayo siyabati nabadlali abanabo ukhuluma abo Koulibaly ukhuluma ngabo Mendy Palin lovimbele Chelsea ukhuluma ngabo Sadio Mane ukhuluma ngabo Cheick Kouyaté labadlala Crystal Palace so ngicabanga
and the players from PSG as well.
PSG yes a very good midfielder so ngicabanga ukuthi na ukhuluma ngeSenegal ukhuluma ngeteam longeke uze uyicount out kodwa ke LinkedIn ngicabanga ukuthi over the years sibonile ukuthi kulukhulu kanganani kuthola goal against Egypt lokutaba lukhulu kakhulu kutawutsenga ukuthi igame yabo ibe ngentulu kakhulu uyakhumbula njoba ngisho ukuthi kuma finals eAfcon tagicitana vele as much as labanenge bebasho ukuthi Senegal I strong anyani nabo labadlali but Egypt ngicabanga ukuthi they play as a team ngicabanga ukuthi yena Carlos baba msene naye Roger Disa they are doing a very good job yes labadlali akusibo nabaya bo Abotrika bomito so ngicabanga ukuthi inyalo they play as a team yes akafiki la bantu bajwayele khona ukuthi Egypt ifika khona but bawathola lama results
but ke going to the World Cup ima representatives eAfrica ngibani ocabanga ukuthi angasirepresent angcono emkhathini we-Egypt nale Senegal?
On paper, Senegal, even the rankings akhombisa Senegal. Njengoba ngisho ukuthi Egypt isengafiki kuleli zinga naliya lesilatiko. Naye Egypt liyathatha ema-AFCON abang-3 alandzelana, 2006, 2008, 2010. Akusiyo le Egypt leyo. LinkedIn, but iSenegal ngale ngicabanga ukuthi bonke labadlali uyafisa kubabona ba-World Cup. Ukhuluma goalkeeper we-Chelsea lowine almost every trophy lebekhona ku calendar year lephelile, ukhuluma Club World Cup, ukhuluma Champions League, ukhuluma nge-AFCON. So ngicabanga ukuthi Egypt Senegal on paper uyafisa kuyibona idlala World Cup. Ngiyathi ukuthi labanengi bamthanza Mohamed Salah, vele ngicabanga ukuthi kutaba huge loss if Mohamed Salah angeke azabe khona ku World Cup. Nabo banabo badlali laba cishe bagudu, ukhuluma Mohamed El Neni lo dlala Arsenal, ukhuluma ngo Trezeguet, nabo they have the players, but on paper iSenegal ungafisa kuyibona World Cup.
Right, kanti ke lo munye umdlalo lo khona bonkosi umdlalo emkhathini live le Nigeria lishana ke nelive le Ghana badlalile ke Ghana nga 0-0 nyalo timisati nyawo Lagos lenye game le Matimana, in fact Matima
tough,
but ke ngiyabuka lo ukuthi ngibani lesingaba fisa lokuthi akayi World Cup.
Yeah, yabona lena ke elikhulu kakhulu because both teams kude longasho ukuthi ustrong nalomunye sekuthi nje nyalo ngiva ngathi iNigeria advantage because bakhona ukuthi kubadlala draw lekani bangayi ntshontsha iwin eLagos. But having said that, iGhana nawubuka ukuthi the Ayew brothers le experience lasebayitholile bafika ku Ghana babancane kakhulu, 17-year-old 16-year-old bantwana ba Abedipele the legend yase Ghana, bese kuba nabo Thomas Partey labadlala khona ku Arsenal. Ngicabanga ukuthi nayo iGhana labanengi yathi usi iGhana bayithanza, but akusile iGhana naya yabo Junior Agogo, yabo Stephen Appiah, yabo Asamoah Gyan. Akusiyo leyo Ghana leyo, kodwa nabo uyakhumbula nabadlali neSouth Africa ukuthi kwatsinga ukuthi kube iblunder ya referee. If Ghana angadlala igame iphosilingane neSouth Africa, take nothing away from South Africa, ngayi ukuthi ngiyikhobosa, but ngicabanga ukuthi bangephasi kweGhana bekumele ukuthi iGhana ikhombise iwine convincingly, but engakwendi lokho ku AFCON abakafiki final. But nayo iNigeria ngicabanga ukuthi kuma groups yawina onke ama games kuma group stages. Ngiyo lengiva ngathi if ingaya World Cup ingasimelela. Remember ukuthi iNigeria every time beyithi iya World Cup for the 2010 yaba nebhadi ukuthi ibe same group neArgentina. 2014 kwaphenze kwendeka lento leyo. So ngicabanga ukuthi ngiyo i-team longafika uyinika i-chance. Yes, Ghana in 2010 yawina tinhlitiyo tema Africans lamanengi. You remember that last 16 game, sorry, that quarter final game against Uruguay. Yes, well, miss a penalty.
But you must start looking at the caliber of players that these teams have. Personally, I think in Nigeria is to compete with those European teams. Now, they've got players that are Premier League, Serie A bakona, and Bola League bakona.
Kule utsinza yona iNigeria ngisekuthi labanengi aba understand lo ukuthi Nigeria ne cream. If kunama players labo njenga Wilfred Ndidi lo dlalela Leicester City, iHenacho Leicester City naye a very very good player, bese kuba nabo Chikweze plays ku La Liga, very very good young man. So ngicabanga ukuthi nayo le Nigeria le cream lenayo because bona in fact Nigerians they are very very proud national team yabo, bayaditshela nje kakhulu. So uyabadzinga abantu labanjalo abathathe naba bigger competition like World Cup, bahambe naleyo pride ukuthi thine asehluleki, the Nigerian were the Super Eagles. So ngicabanga ukuthi for me ngiva ngathi iNigeria ngiyo lengasimelela ngcono World Cup at the moment.
Ngibukele igame eFrance idlala ne Ivory Coast and bengitibuta sikhuluma ngama team laleli aya World Cup and Ivory Coast asibani. But you look at the caliber of players that they.
Lama players lakhona lapha. Ukhuluma ngaWilfred Zaha, ukhuluma ngaHala lo abeka i-top scorer ku Champions League
from Arsenal.
Pepe, Nicolas Pepe. Yabona nokhuluma Ivory Coast kule. Nokhuluma Ivory Coast man. Angathi ukuthi ngikuphi la kuhambe kabi khona kanabo vele ku World Cup abakazi basimelela kahle sima Africans. I remember leya 2010 ngibukele game yabo eMbombela. They had both Didier Drogba at that time. Bobo le cream Yaya Toure, Kolo Toure. So bangakhoni kufika ku last 16 quarter final. Nyalo le cream lekhona ngicaba ukuthi they abadlali nabo as a team.
Exactly.
That's the problem in Ivory Coast. They have big players njoba sesibabalile Wilfred Zaha, Nicolas Pepe, Yohala. But they abadlali as a team. Angicaba ukuthi kusamele ukuthi Ivory Coast ithole coach lotaba njenga Sise wase Senegal. Lotaba ngumuntu wase Ivory Coast. Lotaba ngumuntu lotawuhlala sikhathi nale team. Ayipheka le team igcine idlala ngalendlela layifuna ngayo. But at the moment if batachubeka bayibendele lo kushintsha bo coach angeke vele baze bakhona kudlala at the highest level.
I think lenye team lengathi the probably say very hambile ke ya World Cup. Algeria. Thole ama results lamahle against Mali. And now they'll be playing at home.
Yeah, Algeria ngicaba ukuthi nabo this team yase Algeria nawukhumbula kahle ukuthi betekile AFCON lephelile bebama defending champions bangakhona kuphuma kuma group bengifisa mina ukuthi iAlgeria because iAlgeria nawubuka le ndlela labadlala ngayo abadlali lebhola yethu thine ama Africans not to disrespect ibhola yethu but we hold ibhola kakhulu uthola ukuthi lesikhathi sesiyashaya even na the runs laba wendawo they have one of the best at the moment ngithi mina the best African player lokhona Riyad Mahrez.
Yes,
we want to see that player World Cup. Is doing fantastic, tremendous job la indako ku Manchester City. But if lo mdlalo yangetaya ku World Cup, I feel like sebavele ba qualify njoba usho bona vele ngiyabanika leli ticket lothi sebavele bakhona ku World Cup.
Lenye game lekhona is I think is it DRC in Morocco.
Yes.
The Moroccans batfolile I think they draw but badlala ekhaya ke manje. The chances are ukuthi bangangena ku World Cup.
Bengafisa ukuthi iDRC iye World Cup bona ngeke baze badlale kahle but ile mentality iMorocco lenayo lo ukuthi bathi bona abafananisi nema African teams bathi bona they don't belong here. I hate that mentality. But ngala ku DRC ngicaba ukuthi le game ngayibuka and ngathuka ukuthi Mbokhani usekhona that striker lo nama tricklots ngathuka ngathi Mbokhani usadlala since 2010 so ukhona bayitholile idraw against Morocco. Ngicabanga ukuthi Morocco nakhona coach wakhona watendela pass ngekushiya Ziyech nakuyiwa kuma AFCON laphelile wa retire ke Ziyech wathi bathi tena bambita for le game le wathi no retire mne for national team. Ngicabanga ukuthi usho uthi ushana nya coach then ngindaba sengiyabuya ku national because umdlalo njenga Ziyech uyamdzinga because Chelsea uyadlala udlala kahle kakhulu. So ngicabanga ukuthi for iMorocco if bangeke bakhona win against DRC I feel like batendele pass because kushiya one of their best players.
Sihlangisemni kade master sidlalile ngivele sincobile iSomalia nga2-1.
Yeah. Sihlangu sidlalile but I'm not happy, I'm not convinced ngalama goal ayitolo. Yes, imentality bese ithi already sasivele swinile aggregate score 5-1.
Yeah.
But ngisho even on Friday ukuthi uyafuna ukusenda le statement ukuthi ngisihlangu ngishaya iSomalia ngamagoli angaka. Labanenge bebakhuluma ukuthi Somalia but ngasho ngathi asibanikeni credit la kufanele khona sibanike credit because nyalo sebaya kuma group stages and kutaba tough kakhulu but nawubuka le ndlela le team ledlala ngayo ishintshile kancane the style of play. I know ukuthi Junior Makhakula bayangadlala ama games lamanenge ku under Dominic ahlanga mbidi but inyalo sokhona and the team is playing Skhala utholile goal. but invalo ngibukile ke gule so unfortunately lothi asikakhoni thina kuya embombela kuthathela ababukeli but ngitsite nangibuka nangivala indlela lama comments ku second goal kuthi kube counter attack. That's how you want your team to play against ama teams la best because asibathi nabakupressa sorry nabakupressa kufakela lokushisa uyithole le bhola because Sandanezo when they save then wafakile ngibhola to order wagijima order walivalela ekhasi ufuna ukudlala kanjalo against the best team emhlabeni.
Ngabe siyajini ukuthi siya kuma group stage nje lama team athi noma ngikhanisa tawuhlunga
yes ngikhathi kuyiwa khona ebhodweni kuyoshiwa ukuthi kuma groups sinabo bani sitawuthandaza ukuthi singathole just like na kuyaqala sitawuthola ama World Cup qualifiers sitawuthola eNigeria but nakhona man that game sathrowa la kasomhlolo 0-0 sahamba sababamba half time bekungu 0-0 ekhaya kubo until their mistake yakhe defender we Royal Leopard but kule ngicabanga ukuthi it's high time singasho ukuthi sidlale kahle kufika kuma group stages ema qualifiers asesithi sidlale kahle siqualify le AFCON.
Nembali that dream lives on. Sisimane linye lemalanga singene lapha ku AFCON. It might not be le AFCON esiya kuyo. Probably AFCON etabe siyalandzela probably singangena. Kepha nakunalena kude lokwalako bonkosi ukuthi singene. Ngifuna masasi iphethe indzaba ye cricket la eSwatini. Akusi mina ngiyadeclare into ngiyadeclare mina into ngiyithanza kakhulu lebhola dan lawo yokunye lamanye ama sports ngiva utenza ethenini cricket sekudawrelegate kanti bekusolo kwendiwa njalo
before nami asengideclare LinkedIn
I'll declare
if you didn't know cricket if angakhuli ngebhola ngabe ngecricket
okay
sport lengisithandza kakhulu kunaso sonke sport I know ukuthi bamvu incumbi banga understand ukuthi idlalelana la ngalonke izinto leti kanjalo icricket LinkedIn kuba nama overs in fact iyehlukana icricket khona T20 cricket yes bese sekuba nabo ma series nabo one day tournament if it's T20 cricket kusho ukuthi ama overs ang20 le game ama overs iba nama over inama bhola lang 6 that's one over.
Okay.
So see 6 times 20.
Yeah, but vele uyangididance kudlala ngale
le bhola le.
Nasinema bhola ng 6
sithi 1 ngiyajika 2 until ngifike 6.
Okay.
That's one over.
Okay.
Yes, but nangabe kuma games la njengabo i-series thola ukuthi naku nje iIndia nakucala lo mnyaka ngaJanuary bethe South Africa bekuyitho thola ukuthi i-series leyo ngendeka baye ku100 oma overs. Shothi vele batawudlala lelanga lonke even nangakusasa uyabona so udathona 6 times lo 100 overs over tehlukana bese sekuba nama wickets uthola ukuthi bathi nina nga 5 wickets lokusho ukuthi nangabe kuphume 2 game kwaphuma 7 kuwe 5 ama wickets.
Okay, wena boyini batsman boyini
I'm a fast bowler.
Okay.
Yajika yes
so nyalo basina ba cricket base sipafike esigabeni la khona ukuthi seba nga relegate just the league sayine ama teams langanani
kulama teams la khona LinkedIn ngiyakhumbula ukuthi icricket beyisolo structurelisha ngema sponsors but kunakusuka lo mnyaka iHigh Commission of India ibasponsorishile yathi ifuna ku improve umdlalo wecricket in fact bathi bafise bona more eMaswati because le sports idlalwa the Asians kakhulu bafise bona eMaswati angena adlala icricket base basponsorisha into wema groups le tournament kuna 6 teams shoti 12 so bathiteke nabahlala phansi babuka le association yabuka ukuthi kuze kutokhula le standard salokudlala because angeke LinkedIn uye ku tournament uthi wena noma ngingaba nginamba ngci angeke relegate ndabe solo ngikhona kulomnyaka lotawo so bathi nyalo sekutaba ne relegation ama teams la tawudlala kabi atawuhamba aye B division then bese the following season bazama lo qualify babuya akhona ke lama teams LinkedIn ukhuluma ngabo bo Park 11 shoti incumbi yabo base Pakistan Park 11 yes kube sekuba nabo Dadas kube nabo Malkens kube nabo UNESCO kube nabo Mbabane cricket club le ngicabanga ukuthi nangibuka mina I remember ukuthi last year baye eRwanda and there's this young boy Melusi Smash bathi nguSmash ku game ye Lesotho wathola 3 wema wickets, very good young player. Bengimbukela last weekend adlala ne against Uneswa lama wickets liwathola uyambona ukuthi if wathola kunakekeleka kahle asesemncane ngawukhashana kakhulu. In fact yamcongratulate even na-ICC lenhlangano lengameleyo nomdlalo wecricket emhlabeni ngeperformance yakhe la ithola eRwanda. So ngicabanga ukuthi kukhona la siyakhona as a country nawukhuluma ngecricket.
Yeah, hey mavela dlala lecricket ngiyayibona South Africa la Africa. South Africa ikhona,
Zimbabwe khona, yes.
Bakhona labanye
no bakhona kakhulu bakhona LinkedIn sekuthi nawukhuluma iCream yase Africa ukhuluma ngeSouth Africa ngicabanga ukuthi South Africa LinkedIn ngakubalela ukuthi nangicala nje mina ukubukela icricket 1998 there was only one black South African labekadlala Makhaya Ntini and wathola criticism lenengakhulu because bekusasuka kule area apartheid. I remember ukuthi even bamthwesana lamanye amacala LinkedIn kwafika isikhathi lapho khona befisa kuyekela. One coach wathi don't give up. He went on to become the greatest player ku South Africa. Sebakhona ke bo Kagiso Rabada bophungwayo bolunga ingidi sebangena kancane but nawukhuluma ngeZimbabwe nayo ngicabanga ukuthi over the years uyayibona ukuthi improve kancane lelo but nawukhuluma with the best ukhuluma ngabo India, Australia, New Zealand, England ngicabanga ukuthi England ngeke uzivalele ngaphandle bese sokhuluma ngabo West Indies.
Good. Bokosi besibuka ke tonate midlalo nje mase singakahambi kunenzaba lekhona eEurope nakhunywa ngale World Cup le kiwa kuyo ngiyathi si England ikhona.
Yeah.
The Netherlands bakhonile nabo ukuthi bahambe batongena le but kukhunywa inzaba yeWales lekufune sathi noma udlala nalotawina ku Scotland neUkraine badlala iplayoff match.
Yeah.
Kunenzaba yemidlali Christian Eriksen ungenile
against Netherlands
wafika wakhora.
Yeah kule nawubuka iEuropean football ngicabanga ukuthi itax ineke ama surprises lamane kakhulu ngibanje lebacabanga ukuthi North Macedonia ingakhokha iItaly and namuhla North Macedonia idlala their game of impilo tabo against Portugal. They are facing one of the greatest players of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo, yet bona bama giant killer bakhokhe iItaly. So ngicabanga ukuthi iEuropean football ukhuluma ngeNetherlands against Denmark simbonile Christian Eriksen adlala imidlalo wakhe yokuqala since abanjwa sifo senhlitiyo last Euro laphelile. Wathola igoli ngicabanga ukuthi wonke umuntu in fact nakangena Christian Eriksen even nama fans eNetherlands because if first professional team yakhe Ajax so vele emafans aseNetherlands ayamad. So ngicabanga ukuthi iEuropean football Harry Kane ngale England is only 4 goals away ukuthi break a record la Wayne Rooney. So ngicabanga ukuthi into etendeke eEurope gule ibhola yase Europe imnanzi.
Yeah, bongosi September lokuthenini ke imidlalo iyachubeka kahle nezindaba yaso sihlangisemni kahle siyachubeka sifole ama team elangasila ama team kakhulu manje la kulama group stages sitamane sichubekele embili lethi igaba elilandzelako probably and qualify kathi ke letiningi imidlalo uyangothola nje ehlelweni la Ntsambama la tabe setekwa khona ngithemba sethi tawutekwana leti tekhilithi te cricket naletinye ke letikhona irugby kwendekani ngayo.
iRugby LinkedIn last year bakhuluma inzaba yema sevens unfortunately bangakhona kuhamba ke Mauritius bekumele ukuthi bahambe baye Mauritius baphika iteam yabomake for the first time beyijimela enjabulweni beyikhempele enjabulweni so ngicabanga ukuthi basaqhubeka nale program leyo ukuthi kumele le team labayi selector kube ngiyo iteam vele national team leta uqhubeka ukuthi compete
because jack of all trades master of none. Ngoba ukho la bholeni wasotagcina angicoach wasosihlawu ngiyamangala ukuthi angasine cricket nanayo asathi ke nemntagcina angicoach wale cricket yini bonke sibe siletha lehlelo la lomhlekseni September simthokotile kuba nazi silalele zaba yamangameli Joe Biden la teka khona akhuluma khona nje addressa Vladimir Putin kulembi leqhubekako emkhathini wayo iUkraine nalo live leRussia. Yakhunyiswana ke namhla bayangena inkulumeni njengoba lilanga le-33 kwasolo kwacala lembi December tholakala likhambile litawenda lokuthi lembi igcine iphele. Bongosi siyabona ehlelweni elangeni lakusasa ngevuma lomzala wethu insuku imini yenu elanga leno alibengele lihle naleliphephile nizale kahle.
Ngatibambelela kucala kunathe ama-ARVs ngesaba imvuka lesoloko kukhulunywa ngayo sekuphela umnyaka ngawaqala solo siphethele kahle ngikhumbula kahle ukuthi angimelanga ukuthi ngize ngigule noku namhla solo ngingumcemane ngiyatichenya ngalesinqumo ngitawuqhubeka ngwanathe ngikwethembeka solo ngime kuso sinqumo sami ngigrand ngisukumele impilo yami
kuva kabandi shayela 1212.
Your TV license quickly and easily with MTN Momo. Simply dial *007 *3# and select option 8 for TV license. Enter your national ID number as your reference and the amount you wish to pay. Then enter your PIN to confirm your payment. Once your payment has been made, you'll receive a confirmation SMS of your payment. If you're a first-time payer, you get another SMS for your TV license. So legalize your entertainment from the comfort of your home. Pay your TV license the easy and convenient way with MTN Momo.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
lalela sathane lalela sihambinzini uvakashelela kanje kade kwasa uludabudabula uliphula ubonisa abantu namuhla cul-de-sac.
The